Hi, Jeremy with Rockland Wheels today, talking about the Honda Rebel. So I have with me both 500 iterations, but they also come in a smaller 300, not physically, just the engine. Really, both the bikes are physically the same size wheels, same size brakes. Everything is the same except for the engine. So the biggest difference with the Honda Rebel is traditionally, if you wanted a cruiser style small bike, they were afterthoughts. They had small, anemic engines. They weren't really powerful. It was kind of the bike that you kind of learn on as a stepping stone and you move on. The Rebel really destroys that stereotype about little bikes. They sourced the engines for the 300 and the 500 from their sport touring CB and CBRs 300 and 500. So what you get is an engine that was designed a little bit more for a sport touring bike, so quite a bit more spirited than traditional, but lightweight enough to be put in these motorcycles and easy to handle. Big difference between your 300 and your 500 is going to be our 300 is a single cylinder engine and our 500 is a dual cylinder engine. Both bikes have a 6-speed transmission. Again, big bike stuff in a little package. So it's pretty neat to see on this motorcycle. So again, Honda, keeping the rider in mind, they fitted all the Rebels with ABS brakes, meaning this is going to be a nice, safe bike to drive, an even better bike to learn on. So if you're a new rider, this is going to be a bike that's non-intimidating, and if you're a biker that's used to riding, this is going to be a breeze. It's going to feel like a toy. It's a very, very light motorcycle. The 500 tipping the scales just over 400 pounds, whereas the 300 tips the scale under 400 pounds, making it extremely light and versatile without sacrificing the style. This bike does make a statement. It is a bobber style bike. We got that big, massive front tire, the big rear tire, and really a bobber style seating position that's got a few tricks up its sleeve. One of the things that made this design really neat is the fact that your seating position is extremely low. So I'm about 6 feet tall and my knees are fully bent on this bike. We've had riders as short as 5 feet tall and they're flat-footed. And my peg is right under my leg, so I can ride it comfortably, but so can a short rider. So this can appeal to a whole broad spectrum of people looking for this cool style, but maybe different heights. So one of the differences that you'll notice with the 500 and the 300, the 500 is fitted with this rear seat and has the passenger foot pegs from the factory, versus on the 300, we could add these things. Both these bikes will carry their weight really well, and a passenger won't be an issue, more just the size of the motorcycle if you could fit comfortably on there. They also fitted it with a really cool gauge package. So we got a nice compact LED design here that's easy to read with a traditional fuel gauge. We can see how fast we're going, we got the time, and just simple indicators, but it keeps the style there.
It's very happy. Revving, no problem. Running through the gears is smooth. What you'd expect of a Honda. If you hop on a Honda, you right away expect build quality. And it's very much, it's their merit. Like, Honda does good product. And they're the benchmark in a lot of things. I'm just thinking, like, even cars, you know, everybody knows the Honda Civic is the car that'll go forever, not cost you any money. In ATVs, it's known that you buy a Honda if you want to have no problems with your quad ever. And on the motorcycle side, all that is still true. Let's take this thing around a few bends, let it stretch its Honda legs. Changing direction is easy. What a cool bike. You wouldn't expect this bike to be as agile as what it is, but those two big tires make it very commanding, and it's a short, light motorcycle. But comfortable, and with just tons and tons and tons of style points. This road is fairly rough too, and it soaks it up pretty good. Like any cruiser, you sit a little bit more on that back wheel, but it doesn't really seem to be a problem. And Honda did good too. They added the ABS to this bike. It's a 6-speed transmission. That's well thought of. Typical small cruisers used to be afterthoughts. Here, let's build a bike that'll be good for your wife. This Rebel redefines that. Small bikes should be fun too. And they should be fun for anybody to ride them. And they managed to get a nice throaty sound out of this parallel twin.
For the fuel tank on these guys, they fitted them with, they're just around 12 liters, but the thing is the fuel efficiency you're gonna get out of it is absolutely fantastic. So doing a couple hundred kilometers on this on a tank won't be a problem unless you're doing burnouts the whole time. And definitely don't discount the 300. It's a fantastic motorcycle and something that you may realize that you'll never grow out of. And then the 500 just adds that extra little bit of punch. Both bikes are so light, and when you're driving a light motorcycle, the big difference is correcting the bike. So you don't have that momentum pulling you from one side to another. So simple mistakes are very quickly caught, and you're able to drive out of them very quickly. Something that on a bigger cruiser might be an issue. And then they fitted it with enough power that you're not sacrificing driving a smaller bike. That's the really cool thing about the Honda Rebel, is there is no sacrifice with power, there's no sacrifice with style, and definitely it doesn't break the bank. These are affordable bikes. You could get on it and they're gonna hold their value. So being fuel injection, these bikes are never a problem to fire up. And Honda made sure they gave this bike a nice and aggressive, throaty sound.